Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by... let's have a look at my desk. Let's have a look. The discharged battery himself. It's Mikey G. Wolf V3. Hello, Mikey.
Wow, I'm a discharged battery.
Yes. What's wrong with that? It means you've been used.
It's not positive.
Oh, it was. How's it going, Mikey?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's been a warm day, so I have been gardening, unfortunately.
To the day when the sky is open and I'm just like, feck off.
Yes, no more, please. I also have ran out of ant killer, so I require more heavily.
Bring the boot.
No, boots don't squish ants too well. They seem to swarm over the boot and then up your trouser leg. I made that mistake a few years ago. You need powder just to kind of dump on them. It is the only way. We're here, though. It is the only way. We're here, though, Mr. Mike, to talk about Transformers this week, as we usually do. We actually have news to talk about. Wow, what a novel concept.
Wiki wow.
Like 2020 Moonbase 2 coverage. Wow, wouldn't it be nice if we had news? That is the overall. Like, if people are like, oh, so what was your takeaway from this year? That for Moonbase 2, that would be us. We're going to start off with crappy news, or at least what I consider crappy, or at least evil and creepy looking. Right? Yeah. We're starting off with, please correct me if I get this wrong, Mikey, Symbiote Studios. Way! Transformers Optimus Prime plushie and the Soundwave one. The Optimus Prime one, far less creepy than the Soundwave one, it has to be said, but still Optimus Prime is a bit of a strange case. It's super deformed plushie. It looks fairly huggable and cuddly, but it also looks a bit like a deformed baby.
Yeah.
It has that oomph to it. So it is, of course, G1 Optimus Prime. He has a overly large head. Yep. Lesser detail on it. Like, he doesn't have the cap style, shall we say, for the headpiece. That's kind of just been flattened down to, I guess, just smooth him out. He's going to be 12 inches tall. So that's probably about average size, I'd guess, for a cuddly kind of bear thing, right?
Yeah.
It apparently comes with an enamel pin as well. I don't know why, but it does. Maybe that's an exclusive, the pin. It doesn't say, but I can't imagine like someone buying a plushie and being like, yeah, let's get a fucking pin with this. But it has that option. The Soundwave, I think we can assume as well. Oh no, it does say it is also going to be 12 inches, and it also comes with the collector's pin, so maybe not actually. Same height. We have a release date for it, or at least pre-order stuff. Pre-order dates are going to be 6 p.m. Pacific, July the 22nd, so only a few days from now. What is traditionally preview night, apparently, for Comic-Con at home, or San Diego Comic-Con. So what's weird with Soundwave? It's the fact that he has no visor, which is something they've decided to do, but they've also got the sheen, which is meant to be the little glistening like light source off the eye, which just looks like a creepy pupil.
It's the fact they have a lot of pictures from the side, so it's just sort of like he's giving you a side eye.
And his eyes are red, so that's not helping the whole look either. In the very same style as Optimus Prime, large head, kind of squishy looking, very floppy arms and legs. Mikey, how do you feel about these? Because I think we've seen the community make better looking plushies.
Yeah, I was going to say I like the idea of these.
Sure, yeah.
I like the idea of I love the idea of this kind of stuff being out there. In execution, these look a little bit on the cheap side.
Yeah.
And they don't look like they kind of look Like, just looking at it now, it kind of looks like there was a stock body that they made a couple of very small changes to and stuck a vague-ish Optimus Prime head on.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which, it's fine, you're limited by what you're limited to. But
Mhm.
I really like the idea of these little plushy things, but as you say, we've seen the fan community do really, really good ones.
Fantastic ones, in fact. Some incredible bits of work. Do you
Um,
remember years ago there was someone that did Optimus Prime, but it had like cat ears and stuff like that?
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, they were really nice.
They were really good.
Really good.
The Puggle Galvatron that still makes its way around Twitter every now and then.
Yeah, that's great.
This just, I think it needed a bit more work, or I'm sure, like, give this to a child, they'll be happy out. Because,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But from a I want to buy a plushie point of view as a grown ass man who wants a plushie. I'd rather just buy from a fan.
It's weird because I almost have a feeling that these are made, primarily for collector's market rather than a kid market, because I mean, it's G1 Optimus Prime. It's not like the Cyberverse Bumblebee one, which was the latest cartoon, so it would make the most sense. Or the Horror Forbid, the movie version, which again is probably more well known than G1 Optimus Prime. So it I don't know. To me, it feels strange that these seem to have been developed for the collector's market, but it's not to, at least what I would hope the collector's quality would be, in a sense, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't know. Like a cuddly McAdam, that could be fun.
Yeah.
That could work. He's kind of a big chunky dude anyway, so
you squeeze it and it tells you, I'll die soon.
Oh, I was gonna say he vomits oil or he vomits energon.
Oh God, he's just a lush.
I have a problem. Yeah, it'd be like the Krusty Doll lines that the Simpsons would always have, like, factory errors may occur. What do you think of the idea of them coming with pins? That's weird, right?
Like that kind of ties into the collector idea, because that's very common. Like when you're making something for a collector audience and pins are a thing.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Then again, maybe if you want to give your child a pin and stab them with a picture of Optimus Prime, feel free.
Oh God, that's bleak.
It's
Just like push it into their chest, like, there we go. That's in there, good and proper.
Daddy, no.
You need to be branded as mine. Or at least Optimus is.
It's either this or I write on you in permanent pen.
I prefer the pen. No choices were given. Oh.
I said it was either this or that. I already made my choice.
Excellent. Mikey, safe bet that a Bumblebee and Megatron and or Starscream will maybe happen?
I wouldn't be shocked.
No, neither would I, to be honest. Do you want to take us on to the next bit of news, unless you want to say anything about the symbiote plushies?
I look forward to their carnage.
Sure.
So, Jada Toys have revealed images of their long-awaited...
Is it?
Apparently, I'd never heard of these, so I wasn't waiting. Metal Figs G1, Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee. So these are vaguely SD versions of Optimus and Bumblebee. The boxes use the original card art. The actual toys are kind of like, not really chibi-fied versions of Optimus and Bumblebee, but more sort of like warped.
Yeah.
Warped might be a better version. They have 3 points of articulation: shoulder, head, and elbow. They come with light-up eyes, and they have interchangeable accessories. Optimus comes with an axe and a gun. Bumblebee comes with a gun and a gun. They turn on the lights. Optimus, you press his grill, and Bumblebee, you feel up his crotch.
Oh no.
They come in a box that says, "Try me."
Exclamation mark. There's an exclamation mark there.
Yep. And they're going to be $12.99. And
Okay.
yeah, they're up there on Entertainment Earth for pre-order if you're interested. These kind of look like a cheap version of those Kids Logic thing that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking something similar.
And I really like those. They have light up eyes and they look really, really fun. And I've been meaning to pick some up for years, just never had the memory. The proportions on Prime is the best one. The proportions on him are a bit odd. Like, it's not like he's been squished and cuddlified. It's like they've like shrunk some bits and kept other bits the same size.
It's
Like
weird. It's almost animated-ish,
almost.
like proportionally, and how they've, like you say, they've kind of stretched the forearms, but kind
Yeah.
of concaved them. I think is the right
And
term.
Bumblebee is just uncomfortable.
He doesn't look happy.
Bumblebee looks like he's seen shit.
Yeah, like his face, like it's not like a joke for the show.
No.
It's not a happy expression.
It's just like,
not a war expression.
like
Yeah.
that. It's just like this vaguely open mouth with these dead would-be light-up eyes, and he's just... and he's got his knees buckling as well. I always hate that.
It's an action pose, isn't it?
I like the... Again, I kind of like the idea of these a lot better than I like the execution. What about you, Andy?
They feel like a slightly different idea on the Funko Pops. It's like the Funko Pops mixed with those SD figures that you were talking about. Since these will be a lot cheaper than those SD figures, but they're not Funko Pops and they have a bit more of the character, I suppose, than those do. And they also have a bit more articulation to them. Not much, granted, but these are very, very odd little knickknacks. Maybe like if you said, "Hey, Mikey," or "Hey, Andy, what if we attach a little bit of string to these so you could hang them on the Christmas tree?" I'd be like, well, at least these would feel slightly more appropriate for a Christmas tree than just the G1 toys, because they're slightly stylized to be sort of fun. You just need to give them a Christmas hat, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. These are odd. Again, they're very strange little things. I don't know. There's a lot of these weird G1-ish things coming out, right? Or has come out.
Yeah.
Which I've never been quite sure who they're for. Apart from just like knickknacks.
And I don't know, Pettywhacker might have an opinion on that.
Oh, Mikey. Oh, shall I take us on?
Please do.
Right, Mechanic Studios X. Doctor Wu are doing the MC-01 Mozart, which is the Last Night Mohawk. So that was the amazing character who was around forever. The motorbike one that had, the Mohawk, who's part of the gang. What was the gang called? Did it have a gang name?
No, it didn't have like a name. Everyone just called it the Squad. The Suicide, because it was like they had that Suicide Squad intro.
Was it before or after Suicide Squad?
After.
Oh no. What a movie to copy. But yeah, Doctor Wu teamed up with Mechanic Studios, who I honestly don't remember. I remember Doctor Wu, obviously, but I'm not quite sure on Mechanic Studios. It's going to be a very small figure, so they could have just said Legend Scale, for instance. Maybe it means True Legend Scale. I'm not entirely sure, because they've put it next to one of the studio series, maybe Soundwave, I guess. And that's a deluxe, so yeah, this will probably be proper Legend Scale. I was right. It is next to Dark of the Moon Soundwave. For comparison, we see him in robot mode. We see him in the bike mode. For the size, they seem to have gotten across a pretty decent transformation from robot to bike. The head sculpt's a bit... what's a good word for it? Light on detail? Like, it doesn't... There's not enough detail sculpted into the face, probably because it's so small, but they've tried to replicate it as best they can. It's obviously unpainted, so can't really judge it on that. But Mikey, how do you think Mohawks come out?
He does look like Mohawk.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
whether that's a good thing is up to you.
I would imagine the
not...
person buying the studio series
Yeah.
would probably be happy enough with him.
It's not like 100. It's quite a. It seems stylized to me, but I don't know if that's just
You
because
think
it seems like the head's not quite right.
I think that's just because they can't get the detail on it because it's so small.
Maybe. I mean, I would like if it was a bit stylized.
Like
honestly.
that, though.
I mean, in general, I don't know how you would stylize Mohawk to make him and still make him look like Mohawk.
Yeah.
He's a terrible design, but I think this is neat. I like the little bike mode.
Yeah, no, it's. I always like seeing motorbike transformers because they are kind of a rarity, and a rarer rarity. They become rarer when they're
rarity.
Because there are a few like kind of flop motorbike transformers, but there are
Yeah.
some really good ones as well.
But no, it's okay. There's a distinct design I don't like.
That's fair. Well, what about the Mechanic Studios X Doctor Wu MC02 microscope, which is the Revenge of the Fallen Scalpel? Hopefully, this version of Scalpel won't disintegrate like the proper one. If you remember that. I remember people complaining about that, which disappointed me because I thought Scalpel was fairly fun, if bizarre design, and neat little concept. It looks like he pretty much turns into what he's meant to, I think, which was just a microscope, wasn't it?
Yes, he was. He was a microscope once.
Well, to be fair, he was only in the movie for a very brief amount of time.
Him and everyone else.
Oh, how do you think this one's turned out? I think this one's better myself.
I like the robot mode because it's like Scalpel is the one thing from Revenge of the Fallen I can't really hate. Because he wants this. What is it? He wants the brain on the table. Chop chop. But hopefully offending many Germans. Because why should they be left out in the offense?
Sure.
And
sure.
I say this because the Irish person in Transformers movies was a statutory rapist.
Which one was the Irish person?
The boyfriend in Age of Extinction. Who had the card saying it's technically legal. I have sex with your underage daughter. Your underage daughter, played by an actress in her early 20s.
Of course.
Who you could therefore have made in her late teens to early 20s. But because you wanted to stick in a joke about underage girls, you made her underage. But
I think she was also meant to be more relatable as a daughter in that kind of age bracket, but...
And why do we want to relate to the person when we're being told she's underage? Now look at the camera staring right between her crotch, right between her thighs in that really awkward place. Like, if we move the camera up one little bit, you're going to feel real bad. Because
Michael Bay, Mikey... That's how he do. You know this.
You know this. I think he looks neat. He looks like wiggly and fun. I mean, he doesn't look brilliant. He just doesn't. Like, the alt mode's basically that. I mean, I look at the alt mode. I think a fist.
Okay. Yeah. Because for some, like, when it's curled up, the bottom part has these pointy out bits, which almost kind of make it look like a fist for Predaking.
Yeah. But no, he looks fun. He looks like a fun little dealio.
Yeah. I imagine it's very difficult to try and get the engineering down for a movie toy at that scale. I imagine it's a real pain in the ass. So, props to him for at least trying.
Yeah.
Mikey, you sent me a story from Mastermind Creations.
I completely forgot this was announced this week. And no one talked about it. So there is now a pre-order up for the Mastermind Creations R45 Nemo and Motif 2-pack, or Motif rather. So this is Mastermind Creations' version of Chrome Dome and Rewind from the IDW comics, and yeah, they're coming as a 2-pack. You can buy a married couple. Never thought I'd say that in my life. So yeah, the main guy out of this is of course Chrome Dome, and it's based off his design from More Than Meets the Eye. Rewind is same, except the alt mode, which is super, super trying.
Well,
And yeah, Chrome Dome turns into his big space tumbler. How you feel about this really comes down to how you like the Chrome Dome Rewind designs. I've always liked Chrome Dome's robot mode, and I've never like the big wheels. I've never really cared for his alt mode because the alt mode always felt kind of not quite all there. Rewind, I like the robot mode, but the alt mode's a joke. I would have just not given him one, to be honest.
I kind of like the idea of the alt mode. It's one of those cool, fancy, stupid, like Cybertron designs that you'd see from season 3. So I do like that. I'm actually not sure how I feel about how it's been translated into a 3D thing. Maybe it's the color of the plastics that they've used. I'm not saying they're wrong. But maybe just in the real world, those colors for me don't work as well as I'd like them to. Like the arms are very, very pale. Yeah. Again, maybe it's the background that's on.
I think he's based color-wise more off Josh Burcham's interpretation.
Oh, which is more bleached out, I suppose.
Yeah, rather than Joanne's.
Yeah, or
Joanne's.
Josh's.
Yeah. He comes with an extra 2 sets of hand and an interchangeable head. I don't know what the difference is with the head, but I heard someone say it might be more G1 on Chrome Dome.
That seems kind of pointless, though, because the body's so not G1.
Yeah.
Why would you want a more G1 head? If that was the case, of course.
And the extra set of hands are his Nemo surgery hands. And he'll also come with a comic. And I do love the promo image, which is less romantic couple dancing together or whatever it's supposed to be, and more man grabs small child and handles inappropriately. Uses small child as a mace.
Oh, kind of like the gif of Arnie being picked up and swung around by the lady from Titanic.
Yeah. I'm just looking and it's like, that doesn't look like Rewind's really in the moment.
No, you can imagine the screaming. Don't they come with a pair of interchangeable hands where they're holding hands? That's a thing as well, right?
I've seen a thing for that, but I'm not... That might be... Oh, that's the hand. That's the hand. That's it. Like, yeah. Because if you zoom in on that throwing, rewind, hurling... he's got a holding hand.
Okay, because I think I saw the same pictures of that you're talking about as well, where it showed the two hands, but they were in grey plastic, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if that meant it was an official one or if someone was making it on like Shapeways or something.
What does it say now about me? That looking at this, I'm just going like, you could panel line that, you could panel line that, panel line that, panel line that.
Because it helps bring out the detail.
Gundam broke me.
Yeah, it happens. I think the real problem is if you start doing it to proper toys. Because then where do you stop? And can you sell a toy that's been panel lined?
You can if you say it's been customized.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that's gross. I don't like that.
Steal the Grimlockimus approach. It's just like, I've customized this.
No, you haven't. You've just panel lined it.
I've customized it to bring out the detail. But no, I like. We haven't heard anything from Mastermind in ages in terms of the the reformatted line. So really cool to see this. I think both Tarn and Megatron either got a re-release recently or getting one.
Oh really? Okay.
So that Tarn is excellent. I played with it once and I really still want it. Not as much as I want the Flame Toys one, but I still need my kidneys.
Yes.
So one day, I dream. But no, I think these are neat.
I'm not a big fan of them, but like you say, it is nice that they're coming out. They are popular characters, so that's always good. And it's definitely been a while since we've seen Mastermind do them, because I think they've been stuck on doing the DJD for the longest time.
Yeah.
And whenever we've talked about it, that seems to be all they've had the time to do, which, that's fair enough and all that jazz. So, yeah. Shall I move on, Mikey?
Please do.
Right, 3-0 are apparently doing a War for Cybertron Seed DLX figure. We had one image of this so far, and not a lot of information. I don't really know what a DLX scale is.
It's just deluxe.
Is that what it is?
Same scale. Like, basically, it's I think it's the smaller scale figures. I think. Don't quote me on that. Because they've got two size ranges now. I think it's like 6 and 12 inch. I think I've seen reviews of their Bumblebees and their Blitzwing and stuff, but I can't remember the actual stats.
Fair enough. Well, the idea they're going for is high level of detail, show accurate colors based and toy based on based weapons included. The movie Prime was 19 inches tall and retailed for around $200 US. No word on the price of this version yet, or when it's coming out, so stay tuned. So are you sure DLX means deluxe size? Because if the movie Prime was 19 inches tall...
Hang on. In that case, that's probably the larger scale.
Maybe.
3-0, small Bumblebee, that's all I'll know.
And I'm assuming that their previous ones didn't transform from what I remember, right?
No, they're high-grade action figures.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So non-transformable ones, but they will be posable boys.
Yeah, their posability is fairly insane. Usually
you're paying a lot for the paint job on these as well. And from the one image, I think it does look nice.
Yeah,
does look neat.
I mean, it's a bit of an odd duck because the Netflix series is used the CAD model for the toy as a basis. Yeah. So this has all the toy transformation kibble and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And all the toy it's basically a shinier, better painted, more posable version of the figure.
It doesn't transform, probably.
That doesn't transform, but it's like way bigger and, I'll be honest, looks a ton better.
Oh yeah, certainly.
And it has a better head as well. The head's not quite the same.
But you got to remember, for a lot of people, they'll be more than likely put off by the fact it doesn't transform.
Oh no, have you read the comments, Andy?
Oh, that's not what I do. I leave that for you to tell me and me be horrified by it.
There is, oh my god, the rage.
On what specifically? Is it the fact that it doesn't transform?
No, it's the fact that it's the Netflix design is based off the CAD model for the Siege toy, right?
Yes.
So everyone's going, why would you buy this when you can buy the Siege toy? And people who buy this are fucking idiots. And other kind and appropriate appellations.
Okay, that seems a bit extreme.
It feels like they're not really getting the fact that this is like buying a Flames toy figure. Not like buying a Hasbro. I don't know. I think it's, from me, it's the fact that I really wish they'd done something with this to trim out the toy kibble.
I can kind of see where the angry comments are coming from, but I don't care enough to be as vocally angry about it as them. But it is an odd choice to make this figure when they are quite right that there is the transformable toy version of this, and most fans will probably have already got that version. I don't think this is aimed at us, to be completely honest. You think this is aimed for who exactly? Then
I think that what they're hoping is that the Netflix series will get a lot of it's been getting promotion on the Netflix anime Twitter and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
This is for the high end general collector. I would put money down.
Interesting that they're kind of rolling that dice on a unproven product, but I guess you got to be prepared in case it does kick off.
They do. Remember, every series or game or anime or whatever that has these kind of high-end products, they sign off on these months, years before the actual thing comes out. So
that is true.
They're all signing off on an uncertainty.
Yeah.
So I mean, Figma and Kotobukiya and the rest, they dedicated. Not Kotobukiya, Good Smile. They dedicated how much money to the idea of doing Gridman products before the show ever came out?
Yeah, that's fair.
Can you imagine if that show had failed?
I still hear people say that they didn't like that show, and it still makes me sad.
I hear people here that say that they don't like, hugs, or love, or world peace. And, those people are a problem. Those people end up invading countries. So, if you meet someone who doesn't like Gridman, consider them an enemy of the people and take them out.
Whoa, all right. For the safety of Mikey.
Yeah.
For the greater good.
The thing that kind of annoying me about this is just the toy kibble.
Yeah, but it's totally understandable why it's there.
Yeah,
but you're completely right. It's a problem more with the show than anything else, which is something that was said before and is prevalent in the comics as well. This is a horrible thing that's been spread everywhere.
I can't see for sure, but because I can't see. Oh no! What they did, instead of having the gap for the effect parts, they've added little grill effects. Do you see little grill paneling?
Yeah, it is still very obvious, but at least it's covered up in a way and tries to blend it in with the figure. Not desperately well, but it's something, I suppose. Yeah. It looks neat, though. I wonder if they'll do any other ones, because the Megatron could be quite cool, because he's a pretty decent design for the most part.
Yeah, and, maybe they'll do the earthrise Megatron.
What would be the difference, Mikey?
Bigger cannon?
I would fear that if they do a Megatron, they'll give him the weirdly kissy lips that the show model has.
He's got to have the kissy lips, Andy.
They're so distracting.
They're so threatening.
They're so distracting.
They're
it's so
calling you
bizarre.
You're listening to Jason Momoa talk, and you're just like, I can't take my eyes off.
They're like a fucking black hole. Getting sucked in there. But yeah, there you go. That's that. Mikey, do you want to tell us about the Hasbro live stream that happened?
Yeah, another Fan First Friday, and we got another breakdown of some upcoming figures. This looks like it's going to be a thing going forward. Now, whether this will be replacing the Con Revelation stuff or not, I would be surprised. I think Kingdom, spoiler, is going to be announced at SDCC, but I don't know. I don't mind this continuing. So this had a lot more in it than the last one.
Yeah. Yes. Thankfully.
So first off, they showed their Generation Selects Rotor Storm with, thank Jeebus, a new head sculpt.
Yeah, right?
A new good head sculpt that looks like Rotor Storm.
Yes.
So
I'm on board now.
Yes, I am now way more on board than with a blue Spinister head.
Hell yeah.
Plus, because like that toy looks good. I like Rotor Storm. He died horribly. And I do like the idea of having like a classic CE Wreckers team. And
I see. To me, fuck the Wreckers. I want like proper. Oh fuck! What? I can't even think of the names.
G2
those G.2. No, they weren't Power Dashes. Shit.
I don't know.
I can't remember the names. I've got them all, but I can't remember the group name. It's the guys that fought against the Predators. I always remember the Predators because they're my boys, but these are the Autobot equivalents.
They were in Wreckers too, Andy.
Eh.
The Wreckers had the Predators.
They did. Poor Skyquake.
Skyquake. I was going to say Skyquake was in it.
Yeah. Stalker got some good stuff.
Yeah. The other guy.
So did Snare, actually.
Yeah, Snare and Stalker. But Skyquake, I thought, made a real impression.
He did.
On the ground.
He died.
With his
Very
brains.
quickly. Yeah.
There's also we will touch. He's mentioned here. Do we have an individual story for him up?
We do.
We do.
We do.
We don't.
We do.
I don't. I'll mention it in a second. There's a T-shirt for Siege.
I did send it to you. You lie.
You lie. There's a T-shirt for. There's a T-search. There's a T-shirt for Siege, which is using the original promo image. Cool. I suspect it will get ruined in the wash.
Woo! I mean, okay, yeah.
And
fine.
we also have early promo images of the now confirmed Top Gun crossover figure, the toy you were calling for.
Do we
Maverick.
want to talk about that now? Or are we going to talk?
We
about
might
that
as well
later?
talk it now. We might as well talk about it now.
Okay.
So Maverick is a new mold, as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
He turns into an F-14, I want to say. I don't know jets. He turns into the plane from Top Gun.
It has 2 wings and a nose cone.
Yeah, it flies, apparently.
Yes.
His head is supposedly based off of the flight helmets featured in the film, and he comes with a swappable hand with a volleyball for that classic scene of Top Gun that I don't remember because I haven't seen that film in about 10 years. Would it be pushing my luck to say I think he looks pretty crap?
No, because I've heard a lot of people say this, because I thought I was the only one. When I first saw this, I was like, is this a knockoff? This looks like something that Thu's going to drop a TV on.
Yeah.
It looks nasty, unfortunately.
It's got a bad paint job, which is supposed to be, I suppose, what was in the movie. It also comes with
a little... they're going for.
Is that a little tiny Tom Cruise bike?
Whereabouts?
There's a little tiny bike as well in the package.
Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
And 2 guns, but like it looks like Cybertron Thundercracker without the weird arm.
I think, well, no, I'd say worse than that, because it's more hollow than Cybertron Thundercracker. And like the fact that it feels like you can see through the plastic, and I don't know whether that's because of the color of the plastic or just because it's quite thin plastic to begin with.
There's so many gaps. Like there's so many gaps.
He's got it's more of a movie design, like a Transformers movie design.
I'm kind of looking at it like like this is like a Macross, like in a show where like we've got the more advanced Macross. This is like the grunt mech. That's how I'm looking at this.
I guess, yeah, I could,
because it's just like the generic head, the lanky limbs, the weird colors. Like
positioning of the elbows quite weird as well when you look at it.
I mean, I have been quite positive on the crossover stuff.
Yeah, well, most of them have been quite good.
This is not.
No.
This is. Oh, if there's a crossover comic for this, oof.
I think universally it's been kind of panned, right? I don't think I've seen a lot of people saying like positive things about it. The most I've seen is like it's closer to the G2 Cyberjets, and it's like yeah, if it was in those colors, like the bright orange with the black tiger stripes, and change the head, it would pop. I still think the mold seems to have a lot of issues,
Yeah.
but at least it would be a bit visually appealing. This is just kind of one dirty one dirty gray color with a kind of crappy looking head.
Mm.
I think this is quite disappointing. I think the jet mode actually looks fine though. Like the jet on its own, that's acceptable. It's
Not
just
crazy.
when you get it into the robot mode, it goes, oh dear.
Yeah. Not crazy about the colors, but it works.
Yeah. Again, you can see why they've colored it like this. But I don't think it works too well.
But yeah, so Maverick.
Woo.
Next up is Wave 2 of the Walmart exclusive Netflix collection. So these are the Siege repaint figures that are intended to go with the Netflix show.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically take the battle damage paint and make it more battle damage.
Yeah, or like metallic up or something.
But
sometimes.
these ones, unlike before, it does have a couple of new characters in there. We've got the straight repaints are Impactor, Red Alert, and the earthrise Wheeljack. So
3 of them.
Yeah. So these are straight repaints of the existing toys with more weathering. And then there are 2 remolds. First is Rise Bumblebee, who is a redo of Cliffjumper with a new head and a modified kibble to give him a Volkswagen alt mode. He comes with the big cannon and presumably the skis, but does not look. We see the character model. Presumably, Bumblebee was one of the characters who was made without a toy in mind, because there are characters in the Netflix show that do not have figures.
True.
Not many, but a few. Presumably, this Bumblebee was designed Netflix first, and then they decided to remold the toy.
Yeah.
It also looks like these will you'll be able to stick the backgrounds from the boxes from these into sort of a Teletran 1 play center.
That's neat.
It's neat. I like Bumblebee's alt mode.
Okay.
And I like how ridiculous it looks like with the cannon.
I really like that mode.
Yeah. I think the robot mode's fine, but the fact he's got a car bumper for a shield, I don't like it about Cliffjumper, and I don't like it about him.
Do you like it about Arcee?
We'll talk about that in a second.
Because I don't mind if this. I mean, this seems to become a thing. Like, we'll talk about it in a bit, but Ironhide does it as well. I don't mind it if it helps smooth out and help the transformation a little bit.
Yeah, because this doesn't have the sort of egregious nature of Arcee.
No,
this is kind of like, okay, cool. It's just, I think it's the fact that it's just like in robot mode, he's just holding the back of a Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that isn't a great look. I hear the Cliffjumper figure is really good. It's just a bit on the small side, but
it's in scale.
Yeah,
maybe.
What do you think of old Bumbles?
Yeah, fine. I kind of look at it and go, oh, it's as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it's a redo of Cliffjumper. I'm not surprised. Fair enough. That's what it is. But it's competent. I guess a negative to taking this kind of pulling off and make parts form apart is it helps facilitate the transformation, sure. But it's also kind of a step backwards engineering-wise, you could easily say, because they're not concerning themselves about it and they're making it easier on themselves. If one wanted to, one could use a very mean word and say it's making it a bit lazier from the engineering standpoint and cheaper. Yeah, which is a thing both me and you have said, and I'll continue to say as we go further through this list, I feel, unfortunately. So yeah, keep going, Mr. Mikey.
Next up is Elita. She's got a new head. She's based off the Arcee mold. New head, new chest, new torso. But the whole centerpiece is remolded to make her a little less curvy than Arcee, but only a little. She's also got new shoulder pieces. The rest seems to be a straight repaint. And she's even got Arcee's weird little pew-pew.
With the weird handle that doesn't fit a hand.
Yeah, slight problem with this is, again, we see the Elita-One Netflix design. Yep. Which I super like. And it's, it's a lot chunkier than this toy. It's not as, rounded. I mean, it is basically a robot woman with a backpack, but I like the overall design. The toy just kind of looks like Arcee. Yeah, I mean, it's remolded, yes, but not in a way where your eyes would go like, "Ooh, wow, these look new." It's like, "Oh, it's Arcee. Oh, wait, that's different."
Yeah, it's very heavily RC still. I think it would have helped if they pulled the legs off and pulled the arms off and remade those or remolded those completely as well.
And let's be honest, the car mode is a joke. Like, the car mode is a woman lying down with a car on her back. So why couldn't you have just redone her backpack without going crazy? It wouldn't have cost you a crazy amount of redesign, I would think.
Maybe.
Like, give her a different alt mode.
Yeah, change the shape of it or something, maybe.
Because it's just like... It's like it's Arcee from that one time she was slightly paler in IDW. Like, where she wasn't, like, hot pink for the 5 minutes. I don't know, I kind of dig it, but I'm more digging it because I'm digging the base design, and I wouldn't mind a version of that design.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is that design, but not quite.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you think this is better than the Combiner Wars one? Because I think it is.
No,
kinda.
I kind of love that toy.
I didn't. I
because it's a monster, and considering which Elita it's supposed to be, that seems very appropriate to me.
For that one, sure, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're trying to do like Optimus's girlfriend, strong leader, left behind on the planet kind of thing. No, if you want to do like, I have eaten all the way in protein powder.
Yes. And
I am now a jet. Then I kind of love that about that toy. I like it better than as Elita than I do as Starscream. I'll tell you that much.
Was it Starscream?
Yeah,
that one was okay.
Yeah, that was.
No, you're right. Yes, yes.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those ones where I look at it and go, okay, I see what they're doing, but I think that toy needed a lot more work.
I would agree. But this line is not the line where that would happen, clearly.
We also see, like, Wheeljack, Impactor, and Red Alert. I would say Red looks slightly like he's been exposed to a bit of damp.
Yeah, like he's soggy cardboard.
Yeah, like, Wheeljack's got a bit of it as well, but it kind of goes away in robot mode. But it's just like, in robot mode, it's just like the top of Red's chest. It's really, really obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Impactor, it's more obvious in vehicle mode that he's got a new paint job. It's not super obvious in robot mode, but it's the wrong head as well. There's two heads. Yeah. I really don't like this head design.
No.
But I mean, if you haven't got these toys, like I hear, like they're all three decent. So I think especially the Red Alert Sideswipe. So this is a second chance to get them. They will probably be a bit more expensive, which is something to consider.
Do we know how these are getting released in the UK, or is it because I heard that there's currently just rumors about how they're getting released?
The Netflix stuff is in Ireland anyway. Is out in Smiths.
Right.
So I would say
presumably it would be out in Smiths.
Because I was just looking through Smiths' thing yesterday, and it was just like, yeah, I can buy all the Netflix stuff right now. Next up, we have Netflix Voyager 3-packs. So these are 3-packs based off of Siege, which are the thing here is to make them with accurate paint jobs, right?
Okay.
So the Voyager Prime they're using,
right,
which has a new head.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the earthrise Voyager Prime.
The leader one with the trailer, right?
No, it's being sold as a Voyager, Andy.
But it's a leader, Mikey, right?
I mean, but they're telling me it's a Voyager now.
Which is it?
But yeah, it's got because the head on this guy is a bit different. So on the Netflix one is a bit different from the thing. So they've given a new head. Now obviously the character model they have is based off the Siege toy.
Mm-hmm.
So they've taken the Earthrise toy, not given it an accurate paint job to match Siege, just sort of dirtied it up a small bit. But on the core concept of releasing this toy on its own without the fucking trailer.
Yep.
Thank you. Slightly undermined by a couple of things. One is it comes with anoraks, Oh god. And Sheldron, a pair of Battle Masters. One's based off the little pterosaur axe, and the other one's a road.
Yeah.
So the price, like, these will cost about $10 more than a standard Voyager.
But how much less is that than a leader?
$15, $15 to $20 less, depending on where you're shopping in the US.
All right, so $15-$20 without a trailer less. That's better.
And
still.
2 extra little figures, and a Voyager that people are saying is worth more than standard Voyager price. So
Apparently.
I was kind of thinking, like, if I saw this in Smith's, I would honestly be tempted after hearing everything about this Prime. Like, I said, if it was more affordable, put my money where my mouth was.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized that Smith's are selling them at the same price as Leaders.
Well, really?
Yep, they sold all the previous multi-packs, the Hot Link Skywarp thing, with the 2 little Battle Masters, €50.
Oh no.
So they're basically so so I don't have to buy this one, so that's good.
Well, because you get fucked over again.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I did see after last week, Shockwave was on eBay for €30.
Okay, so half price, right?
Yeah, shipping was $50.
From
Coming
where?
from America.
Oh.
I was just like, it's like you're punching me in the dick. One day. If anyone wants to send me their Siege Shockwave, I'll I don't know, review it.
Wow.
The next one is Earth Mode Voyager Soundwave. So
I know this one pissed off people.
Oh, this is hilarious. So this is with very minor remolding, and no matter how much people say it isn't. It's basically fairly minor remolding. The Siege Soundwave. He's coming with a Laserbeak and a Ravage. But hey, you know how Siege basically had an alt mode, inverted commas?
For Soundwave, you mean his barge mode?
Yes.
Which was a joke, which neither of us ever liked.
Which is basically he's lying down and we've moved down a flap.
Yeah.
But he's also a light post, Andy. Which is he can make a T-pose.
Yep.
Well, this is kind of, in my opinion, admitting the toy was basically always designed to be just kind of a standard Soundwave. So yeah, with very little remolding. There's a little bit, but not enough to make you blink. I'm sure some like TFW will come back at me now and say like, oh, there's a ton, but like the chest is different. I think the front of the legs is different anyway. This is the exact same toy, with a cleaner paint job, which I don't mind.
Sure. That's something at least, I guess.
So you said people weren't happy.
As far as I could see, yeah, people feel like, from what I saw, people were saying that they feel like all of their, or maybe not all, but a vast majority of the War for Cybertron stuff can be put in the bin now. Yeah, as the joke usually goes.
What, like War for Cybertron, like Siege? Is it? Or War for Cybertron?
No, War for Cybertron Siege, like the Siege toy line, like the previous Soundwave and the previous Megatron and the previous Optimus Prime, they can be put in the bin, because these are the ones that the people always wanted.
But they said that about the last one. That's why none of them really had real proper Cybertronian alt mode, because that was the toy they wanted. They told us.
Yep. And now we've got the proper Earth mode versions.
Technically, they still don't have the proper Earth mode Megatron.
No, that's true, but they've got as close as they can get, probably without
the same toy wearing
people.
A hat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hey,
if they'd gone harder into the Cybertronian modes and actually made new toys like they usually do for another series, like, hey, how many leftovers from Combiner Wars were in Titan's Return?
None, actually.
Yeah, wasn't that an interesting thing where you got an entirely new toy line?
Even Power of the Primes, which basically just had the gimmick everyone else had, they were mostly new molds.
Yeah, I mean, they got Power of the Primes got messy, shall we say.
Yeah, Power of the Primes was not a line. Power of the Primes was an idea for a leader figure, and then you went, shit, we've got nothing else, let's just use the gimmicks we've already used.
Yeah.
But... So, yeah, I mean, I'm not angry. I find it hilarious. If I'm honest, I find it very funny. It just to me is just this clear admittance we weren't really trying with Soundwave before.
It kind of feels like that.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, I do think the base Soundwave figure looks decent as a robot, and as it transforms. So, and it is nice to be able to get a version of that without that fecking cracked visor.
People are complaining or weren't happy as well that the eyes were yellow.
Oh no, well that's the thing. I always prefer red eyes, but hey,
Most people prefer the red eyes, I think, because I mean
But the
it
toy
just
had
looks better
Hasbro always prefers the toy.
for some reason, and yet they always try and go for the G1 accuracy, but not the toy G1 accuracy. So what can you do?
We also have another leader figure spoiler pack for Netflix, including Battle Masters, accessories, and surprises.
Oh
last
my
one
God.
was Ultra Magnus, who came with a weird-looking rung and some Energon cubes.
That's
Cybertronian includes hidden on the package.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure someone's already figured this out.
Did you?
No, I didn't look.
Oh, okay.
So this is like War for. Interestingly, this isn't marketed as Cybertron Siege. This is marketed as War for Cybertron Trilogy.
Okay.
Someone said this, and I was just like, they're very right. It would be very hard to convince me to buy this if I was a parent going to a shop, because I'd be like, you want me to buy a toy I can't see?
Yeah.
And no picture or anything. It's a box that says "Don't look."
Yeah. Maybe do they? I don't know. Do they have display models so you can actually like people can see what the toy is?
I mean,
because like you say, it's a hard sell otherwise, or
they
harder.
do, but I frequently seen them not use it. Some people are saying they think this is probably Shockwave.
That would make sense because there's not a vast array of leaders they can kind of dip on.
Another
right?
Queen Stodge on Twitter. Who I'm going to get her for this one because it put in my head, and I'm just like, if they don't do this, they're made me angry. What if it was Nova Prime from Galaxy Convoy? From the Siege redone into Nova?
You know, I don't think they're that clever.
No. And I'm just like, it's not going to be that.
No.
And now you've ruined it for me. Thanks.
Yeah.
Queen Stodge.
Boom.
If that's your real name.
It is.
I think it's Jessica.
Oh, okay.
I prefer to say Queen Stodge, to be honest. If I say Jessica, I just think Spider-Woman.
Okay.
The next one is the Selects reveal. So some of these,
well, not really reveals.
Yeah, they're following up from some leaks we've had. Still no word on that Cyclonus that got leaked with Maverick. I noticed.
Which one?
There was a new mold Cyclonus.
Was there? I don't remember that.
Got leaked alongside Maverick originally. So
okay.
But we've got Exhaust from Earthrise Wheeljack, Grease Pit from Earthrise Ironworks, and Hubcap from Cliffjumper.
Grease Pit actually has some new accessories to make him into Grease Pit, which we didn't think it did have, but it does have. So that's good. I am pleased to see that.
Yeah. No. Exhaust is like we're getting him as close to the Marlboro thing as we can, but apparently Marlboro were not happy about the Masterpiece figure.
Oh, really?
I heard. So,
why?
Probably like we have enough problems as it is.
I imagine with the amount of money they have, they probably don't.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, confirming that Exhaust has the faction symbol of a group called the Mercenaries, who were teased a couple of years ago, and we never saw anything with them.
They were put in the card game, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
So,
and then
also,
nothing was done with them.
Can I just say, the man, I didn't watch the video for this, but that man's mustache is fantabulous.
Oh, it's great, yeah. I think
it.
He's mainly a G.I. Joe dude, isn't he?
Yeah, but, love it. The creepy fecking eyes in the background, though, or something else. So that tiger is not well. Hubcap, I think, has proportion issues.
What kind?
His head is very big. And his body is very small.
I don't mind it because he's meant to be kind of like Bumblebee-ish, so he's meant to be a bit chunky and cute. So I think it's fine.
It just looks like they took the head of a real robot and stuck it on Bumblebee.
Oh, so yeah, like
or Cliffjumper rather.
You say that, I can concede and say that's fair enough, but I like it. I think it's more interesting than Bumblebee to look at.
I kind of, but I mean it is just a straight repaint with a new head.
Oh, certainly. Of Cliffjumper at least, right?
Yeah. Next up, we have an Amazon exclusive two packs, if you will.
Lots of exclusives.
Lots of exclusives. First up, we have Deluxe, Ironhide, and Prowl done into Earth modes. Now, Prowl is a repaint of Blue Streak, who is a completely fresh tooling based heavily on the Siege Prowl, kind of like Abominus is basically Silverbolt pretending to be a dog.
Yeah.
And Ironhide is a heavy retooling of the Siege toy, but as you mentioned earlier on, he's got a removable roof to his van that he uses as a shield because that toy really couldn't pull off the van look.
No.
I think these look decent, if I'm honest.
Sure, yeah, they look fine. I think Ironhide's a bit more interesting than Prowl, at least. But
yeah.
Hey, it's the Siege toys again. Just
retooled.
So.
As we said, the Prowl is technically a brand new toy. Technically. He just uses a completely similar transformation and proportions. They just remade everything.
Yeah, this is the same toy, really, isn't it?
Shh.
If you put the two in the hands of a child and say, "Are these the same toy?"
Shh. Andy, smell the chloroform. But yeah, Ironhide I think looks decent. But he's not. I mean, I'm not excited for him if I'm honest, but I think he looks good.
No, I would agree. Like Ironhide's never been a character that I find particularly exciting, but yeah, he does look good for what they're doing with him.
Yep, and next up is a 2-pack of Voyagers, which is Ramjet and Durge, done from the new Seeker mold. They didn't get done previously for Siege.
They didn't get done.
They didn't get done. So this is the first time we've had a toy of them in a good long while, if I'm honest.
Yeah, so where's Thrust? Thrust will be coming at some point, right?
To be fair, fictionally, where is Thrust? Who cares? Like, you've got the depressed one and the jive talking one, or the one who has jive talking friends. I'm happy. They are pretty much identical bar the wings, as far as I can tell. Their facial expressions are different. But they do not have the correct arm cannons.
Okay. No, you're right, yes, actually. Yeah. They've just got the generic Seeker ones, don't they? The Starscream ones.
I think they look decent. Individually, I'd be more interested to pick up one of them than probably the main Seekers, except for like Thundercracker, who's my boy.
Why is that?
Because it's Thundercracker.
No, I mean, why would you be more interested in picking up these than the other Seekers?
I've always liked the general look of the cone heads.
Okay.
And I like the colors, and like Ramjet especially, I like the colors. And also, he is Ramjet, and I have an unhealthy love of Ramjet because of one event in my past.
That's true. Yes.
And I like Durge also because of a comic where he got treated like a footstool. But I mean, do you have any thoughts on these two, Andy?
Hey, these are the Seeker molds, just slightly tweaked. Again,
I'm sensing a theme in your responses.
So I'm sensing a theme from Hasbro at the moment, and I'm not happy about it.
Well, we'll touch on that in a second.
We will.
But the final thing revealed was the Generations Quintesson Convention exclusive Pit, which is a Pulse, probably was due out for SDCC, and is a Pulse exclusive now for September. And
sorry, did you say an SDCC exclusive and not say Black Zarak? Or Metro Titan? Or Yellow Devastator?
Andy.
Do I need to smell the chloroform again?
Smell the chloroform, you're gone.
Damn it.
God damn it.
Black Zarak! God fucking damn.
Oh, it's a Hydra mode.
Did you say Hydramon?
Hydra mode.
Oh, Hydra mode.
He has the best alt mode, which is... I would want to play with the earthrise one just to put it in that mode and never take it out of it. But yeah, so this is the Quintesson Judge, which comes with a plethora of little friends, including a prosecutor, a bailiff, Kranix in a little cage, and a Sharktacon. So, I believe the Quintesson is the first release of it, I believe. So it's
you mean technically it's first? Yeah, because the other one hasn't came out yet. Oh, that's interesting, I suppose.
So it's you can spin the faces around, and technically it's a MicroMaster base as well. So you can turn it into a cage for little Kranix. Yeah. The bailiff is a retool of the Alicon with a new head.
New shoulders as well, and a new
Yep.
chest, and like you say, a new head.
Yep.
And a new weapon, actually.
New weapon, yeah. But do we see his alt mode anywhere?
Yes. You want me to say it's in the next story I sent you.
Oh, I will look at the next story then.
Send you the pictures.
I win.
For some reason as well, like there's a bit of a debate on his colors, on the bailiff's colors, because they seem to be based off a concept image, but not based off the movie, since the movie colors were just the Alicon colors.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting.
Don't remember, if I'm honest. I think this guy looks better than the Alicon. I think the alt mode is still a joke, but I really like the robot mode.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I really like the head sculpt, and I like the chest, and he looks like a little Viking man, and that appeals to me greatly.
Mm-hmm.
The prosecutor is just a static piece. He looks good, and the Sharkticon is just nah.
Well, yeah, what are they trying to do with the colors? Because they are different from Nord, but they're
Yeah,
not cartoon
they're
accurate or movie accurate.
They seem a bit more metallic, if anything.
I would say like they've bumped up the hue on them, or maybe the saturation. Like the grays on them are more like have a more blue tone to them for some reason. It's odd. It's a very weird choice.
So I'm less concerned about the accuracy, I have to admit, to the point where I think this is a pretty cool set in my opinion.
It's interesting. It's okay-ish.
I think it's got character to it, and like I said, the retools that are there I think are an improvement over the base figure. The little like figurines I like. I like it. I mean, it's not perfect, but
I think the issue I have is it's some very strange color choices, because again on the Quintesson has some interesting, to be kind, interesting color choices. Like one of the faces has blue lips.
Yeah.
Which looks really bizarre. And obviously it's just a set. There's one figure that I'd say is worth getting in the set, and that's the bailiff.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the proper release of the Quintesson Judge that we're getting. The Sharkticon is very superfluous, because again I think the Combiner Wars one is better, the Titans Return, whichever one it was. Kranix is nice, and the bailiff's nice, and the backdrop's nice. It's just one of those sets I'd probably walk by in a shop rather than buy.
For me, it would be a price dependent thing, but I mean, I would rather get the bailiff before I got the Alicon.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see that.
He's a lot more my style, and I don't care about his alt mode. Like, to me, he's not a transformer, he's a robot. Like, the Alicon, I care about the alt mode, and you fucked it up. But, yeah. Oh, so, Andy, overall thoughts on this large Fans First Friday?
There's a lot of not new toys. There's a lot of remolds, whether they're heavy, they're light. Nothing. When I say nothing new shown, I mean no new molds. Everything slight retools, like I say, and everything like that. And like other people have kind of hinted at, it feels like the Earthrise line is just there to replace the previous line, and I think that is not a great business model to kind of go by. If we're going by the thing of like every 3 or 4 years we've got a new like figure to replace the older figure, okay, yeah, that's fine, no worries, I don't mind that. But when we keep having next year is the time where we get next year there'll be another Optimus Prime, so why should I buy this year's Optimus Prime when next year's will be a better one potentially? I don't like that feeling, of there's no point getting this one because the next one's gonna just be better.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm saying. Which is why Combiner Wars was quite good, because Combiner Wars, they're all combiners. Next year, no combiners, but all Titan Masters, so Headmasters and Target Masters and stuff like that. So they're, very different lines, very different feelings between them. These all just kind of mushed together, and I don't like the feeling of it. And they're all characters who I've mentioned it before, I just don't care about too much. So I remember like seeing these and just using the screaming goat kind of thing, putting that up online, because it's just I'm so tired of seeing remolds. I'd like to have seen one new figure. Yeah. Just one would have done. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know.
What about you? How did you think it turned out?
I mean, I think there's some good concepts in there, but I am still like, what they're trying to do is already turning me off. as I vocalize.
What do you mean? What do you mean by what they're trying to do?
How each of these lines is playing out at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
every figure, not only has to be G1, it has to be more G1 than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to getting a reveal of an Optimus and a Megatron for the next line.
For Kingdom, whenever that happens.
Because that's just going to be Optimus and Megatron again.
Mm-hmm. Will they be more G1, though?
Yeah, or like an Arcee or a Bumblebee, or just like, please stop.
Yeah.
Do someone either redesign them or do someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this, like, with that light, I mean, a lot of these repaints turn me off just because they're just dirtier repaints. I appreciate at least there's the option of getting that Optimus at a cheaper price, but
well, theoretically, you should have been
for
able
other
to.
people,
You can't.
I can't. But
No.
It's not exciting for me. But I'm not as. I wasn't expecting new molds just announcing this thing. If I'm honest, I think this level of repaint, like, basically, the Netflix War for Cybertron thing is a second line of. It's like you're getting the same character in the main line, and then you're getting a repaint of that character in the next line. But it's not like a repaint intended to be someone else.
Yeah.
It's the same guy, and I think that's one of the problems. It's like, hey, you got Red Alert. Here's Red Alert.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a good way to describe the issue I have as well with it. Because if I was a person that was buying the molds at the moment, but I really liked how the Netflix stuff was. I mean, this is all hypothetical, so just roll with me here. If I was in that boat, I think at this point I'd be like, I don't want to buy any more of the mainline toys if the Netflix version comes out and I prefer it. Why should I bother? I'll just need to wait again, play that waiting game. It's strange. Shall I move us on, Mikey, or do you have anything else you want to say?
Nah. We'll hope for the best in the future.
Cool. Well, I'll cover at least these two things because they kind of hints at new things coming. One was the thing that kind of came out on the Monday when I put up the podcast, which I got annoyed about. I was like, oh man, we couldn't talk about this. But we've got more red Transformer figures on the way, at least kind of announced through dodgy like retail hacking systems. So we have an Optimus Prime redeco.
Nemesis?
So, Nemesis
or Magnus.
Sleep mode, maybe.
I would like if sleep mode was the new thing.
Fuck,
like,
I wouldn't. I'm already tired of it.
I don't know, but like someone read the bio. I heard on one of the podcasts someone read the bio for the toy
of sleep mode.
For the alternate. No, remember it's alternate universe Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah, my bad.
But the bio is a lot less subtle. Optimus Prime can face anything, including his own debt. Imagine laying him to rest in his trailer and stuff like that. I'm just like, that's one of those moments where it's like, ooh, that's a tempting bio. Hey kids, he's dead. Yay. We couldn't put it on the front of the box, but he's dead.
Yay. That's so weird.
So like if they did that, I'd be like, fully articulated dead person.
You want a transforming corpse? You've got it.
Yeah, like, oh man. Pose him in any pose Optimus in the Yamcha.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Also on this list is G1 Starscream for red, which isn't really a surprise, and red Prime Knockout.
Hang on one
second.
So
there we go.
I've got to back up for this. Hang on. Can you still hear me?
Yes, unfortunately.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, unfortunately.
Thought I'd blow out my mic if I did that too close.
Wise.
I think that's a good thing.
Hey, Knockouts finally got something.
Oh, please let it be. Like, I saw someone in the thread saying, like, what if it's, like, based off the Micromaster?
Oh, no.
From 1990.
No.
Oh, dear.
What if it's based off the toy?
Oh,
instead of the CG model?
Oh, come on. Oh, but he could come with a buffer.
He could.
Oh, man. I really, like, it'll probably just come with the lance or something, or, like, the buzzsaw hand, but...
I think the strangest thing is, This is the first knockout figure we've had since the original toy, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, the crocodile variant.
And we've
suppose.
had a third party like design leak, but we don't know what the story is with that.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything else about it, so seemingly we're going to get an official knockout before anybody else has done one since
2012.
Oh, no, not that long ago, is it?
2012.
No, go home, Mikey, you're
There
drunk.
hasn't been another mold of Knockout since 2012.
Oh my god, that's
Knockout,
that's crazy.
who everybody loves.
Yeah, but a lot of people like Knockout.
Everybody loves Knockout.
That's bizarre.
Like, and like also, this would make it. Would this be the first official? No, I suppose you could say Chrome Dome and Rewind had this, but the first official toy of a gay Transformer.
Well, I suppose so. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that should be marked somehow.
Really,
But,
should it? It's to me, it's just a thing. But
yeah, but it's like I will come up with any reason to have more Knockout.
okay.
Like, look, he's diverse and positive. Give me more Knockouts. I love Knockout. Have I mentioned that ever?
Maybe.
Once or twice. So yeah, maybe a wee bit hyped for this one. I literally don't care if it's shit.
I think you do. I think you'd like it to be good.
I'd like it to be good, but I will buy it regardless.
Yeah. So it's not that you don't care. It's you will buy it regardless, but you hope it's not poo.
Yeah, and like I heard the Walmart listings for Red sold out pretty quickly.
Oh, that's a good sign. Surprising sign, but a good sign.
Yes, except a lot of pre-orders are showing up on eBay.
Oh no!
I don't think it's as bad as with poor old Gigawatt, but Kapow and like other stockists, their pre-orders are still up and happy. So I think I will look that way for my shopping.
I think you're gonna have to, because otherwise, like, you don't really want to feed the
fuck the
scalpers if you can help it.
But yeah, like Arcee and Knockout, sure, yeah. Like I said, I really want to support this line doing non-G1 characters, and I'd like this line to take off. Like Lightning Collection's doing well, I'd like this to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Lightning Collection are doing a Psycho Green from the comics, and I didn't know that. Also, there's a new Green Ranger coming to the comics.
Yeah, so you put something about that up on Twitter, and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. But I've been reading the comics, by the way. But
I'm surprised you've not bought Battle for the Grid, the video game.
I'm not really a beat 'em up guy, if I'm honest.
Fair play.
And also, like, I've seen the story mode for that, and like, while I hear the game itself is a lot better, the story mode is crap.
Yeah, no, the actual game's really actually pretty good. It's made by people who have been in the fighting game community, so they make it really high quality. Like you do stupid combos and juggle people forever, that kind of nuts stuff.
Yeah.
So new red stuff and new Transformers Cyberverse deluxe figures with it says builder figure, so I assume they're gonna continue more builder figure stuff. I don't know who they do after McAdam, but Quintesson?
You could do a Starscream. Quintesson Starscream.
Maybe you could do one of the because you know this better than I do, but one of the not the main Quintesson thing, but the Quintessons have quite a few different things.
The scientist is in there. He'd be nice, but I want the Starscream.
The Starscream.
Starscream Quintesson. Yeah, do that one.
Okay.
That's the thing, by the way. That's the thing.
Here's the thing. I don't think that would be the case because the figures that are here in this listing are Starscream, Soundwave, and Prowl, and I don't think they do a Starscream Quintesson with a Starscream.
But he's just a Starscream head. You can just rotate it around and have someone else.
I just don't think it would happen.
Do you know what I would do? I'd do. It would be a bit small, obviously, for the character. I'd do Iconus.
Okay. Yeah.
Like we saw his toy.
Could you do that as a builder figure though?
Well, you could easy enough. It just wouldn't be very big.
Okay.
And he's a Titan, so people are just like, shouldn't he be huge? But just do him that way.
Just for representation's sake. Yeah.
But no, I'm super happy about this. Like deluxe, I was not expecting another wave of deluxes.
No, I think that it's a fairly if a negative is it's a fairly safe choice. Like, hey, it's a Prowl, it's a Soundwave, and it's a Starscream. It's like,
Prowl,
okay.
Prowl is the first one of these where I'm blinking a little because by far he did nothing in the show. I would have gone with Shadow Striker.
Does this not make it seem like the deluxe is again made for the adult fans. Then.
Yeah, no, I think they're a lot more aware of us. But
And
I
then,
also
and
know,
then
like,
unfortunately,
Prowl
they've
is a-
decided to go down the route of
Yeah.
give them Prowl. It's like, no, if you're an adult collector fan collecting the TV show characters, you want the main TV show characters.
Like,
I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have expected Windblade
Yes.
or Dead End if you want to do a car.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's something, I suppose. So.
if they're doing the same route, it's going to be another 8 figures, so plenty of characters to choose from. It's like, it's a case of there's so many characters to choose from, and I was just like, oh, who would be your favorites? It's like, I don't really want anyone to be excluded.
No.
Like, there's a lot of good designs in this.
Shadow Striker would be probably my number one.
Yeah, no, Shadow Striker. If you were doing a retool...
Slipstream.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to do a retool Starscream into Slipstream.
Yeah. I mean, that's an easy choice. Here's the thing. I wouldn't want that. What I'd want, Mikey, is like a 4-pack or a 5-pack of Slipstream and Seekers, but not like Starscream and not Thundercracker.
Like
I mean, like the one that was like the one
Nova
that had like a dark maroony crimson color. You know that one, and then it was white as well, or had orange on him. Like the really bizarre colored ones. I'd like those ones because they were kind of neat, even though they weren't characters.
You could do Acid Storm and give them 2 heads.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be a neat trick. I mean, like, there's loads, like, season 2 and 3 have so many characters to choose from, you know?
I'd say put Cheetah on the back burner.
Yeah, I'm not...
Just because it would be tricky to... Because, I mean, it's always tricky to do animal transformers. Just so don't worry about Cheetah. Do other ones first.
But Dead End would be one I'd really like. Astro Train, again, he'd be too small, but I would like one.
Bludgeon would be nice. I mean,
Bludgeon
he is
would
very,
be cool.
very similar to the RID version, but I don't care.
Yeah, Windblade's kind of an obvious one that I'm surprised hasn't been done already.
Yeah.
Rack and Rune would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That could be your Build-A-Figure, potentially.
Rack and Rune I do in red. I'd do Rack and Rune in red if I were them. But now we have that option, you know?
Yes, yeah.
The perfect Decepticon would be a cool one to do. Or Megatron X would be cool.
I mean, happy to see, though, that Soundwave's getting a proper figure.
Yeah, super happy about that. I love that design and I love that character.
Yeah, because he's silly. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Does he come with accurate sound effects of just playing loud rock music just to piss everyone else off?
There's obviously no info on when these will be showing up, but I guess these will show up around like San Diego whenever San Diego Comic-Con is meant to digitally happen or whatever you want to call it. Probably around then we might see more, I hope, of that stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to see on these, Mikey?
Just please do more. Keep the line going.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it'll be successful and they haven't left it too long. Like that's an issue that could happen. Like maybe they've left it too long.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not though.
Yeah.
Take us on then, Mr. Mikey. Tell us about this new what's after Earth.
Something
Rise.
that at least seems like it might be kind of interesting if they do it right.
I'm not holding my breath, but maybe
by default there has to be new figures in this. By default, has to... A few of these would be hard retools.
I don't have faith anymore, I'm afraid. Logically, though, it would make sense because it would be really hard to do it otherwise.
We had a leak during the week, and at the same time, Netflix put out a promo in Cybertronian, and it was revealed that the next Transformers line following up on Earthrise is Transformers Kingdom. And specifically Animal Kingdom, because this is an official G1 versus Beast Wars series. According to the poster we've got, at least character-wise in the fiction, we're going to be getting both Megatron and Galvatron. So maybe a new Galvatron figure.
G1 Galvatron, do you mean?
Yeah. Obviously I would like Stupid Dragon Galvatron, but
that's what I was hoping you meant.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a decent Galvatron figure, like a regular Galvatron. He never really wins in that regard, does he?
Not officially. Big Cannon was the best version of that toy.
Yeah, or no,
that's really good.
I'd say the Ultra Megatron is the best version of that toy, to be honest. But that's only because I like the design. I haven't handled it.
But yeah, the Ultra Megatron's not Galvatron, though, is what I mean. You know.
Yeah. And Optimus, Arcee, Bumblebee, they're all there alongside Optimus Primal, Tigatron, Cheetor, Rat Trap, going by the poster, Rhinox, Scorponok, the Golden Disc, Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron is off there in the background, and very prominently is my boy, my beautiful strappy boy.
Big convoy.
Yes, big convoy.
Yay.
Dinobot's in there. Like I said, I mean, I'm obviously Optimus, Megatron, Galvatron probably, Bumblebee and Arcee probably going to be the same toys. Unless Galvatron's a new mold, but I could see him being a retool.
That's a safe bet.
But there really aren't any toys to remold into the rest of the guys.
Unless they just re-release the generation, not the Generations one. Do you remember the last Beast Wars Rhinox?
Oh yeah. God, yeah. Oh God, that was Generations.
I thought I wasn't sure. I thought it
or like the Optimal Optimus they could redo.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like if they did Dinobot and just like, oh, they'll re-release the Universe one.
No.
That I liked a lot about that toy. He's not perfect, but I liked a lot about him.
Ooh.
He has problems, but a fun gimmick.
He's not as good as Cyclonus, though.
I will fight you in the fucking street about that damn toy.
Woohoo!
I don't like it. Why is everyone always mad at me about this? I don't like Cyclonus. It's not the end of the world. Straxus was better. What you got? What you got? What you got? But yeah, I mean, listen, I am way more interested in this than the next line being the same 7 toys.
Yes, it's something. It's not really innovative as like new stuff, but at least it's not just G1.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's going to be how accurate can we make... Like, that's the thing is something to be concerned about. This is going to be like, how accurate can we get these to the show models? And just like, those beast modes are going to be something to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always like, a concern when doing beast mode.
The masterpiece. Look at the masterpiece and look at, like, Black Arachnia is on this. Like, Generations Black Arachnia. Look, the masterpiece, which I would love to own. I would love to own it. But look what it did with the spider. With all that money and all that engineering.
The only thing... The best thing you could try and do is just redesign it so it at least doesn't transform like the G1 or the original Beast Wars toy to help out that way.
She's a retool of Arcee.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Heavy remold, but is basically a shell.
Spider shell former, and it like part of it you have to take off the spider and you can ride it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've made it work, but no, I am definitely more positive about this just as a core concept.
I'm interested in the idea. It'd be, and at the very least, it'll be nice to see something different. I heard that John Warden's gone, and people are joking and saying that that's why Beast Wars is allowed to exist again.
Yeah, John Warden's moved over to Ghostbusters and Power Rangers. So, yeah, I've seen some mixed responses.
Oh, really? Okay. Some
people are like, oh no, the best toys of the era and John's gone. Or like, oh yes, the worst toys of the era and John's gone. Or like, people, like there is a thing like going around and now G1 can take a break.
Yes, that's the stuff I saw, and I was like, well, that doesn't feel like that's entirely wrong.
But then again, I'm just like, I don't know, like, I maybe John left a caveat of just like, I'll leave if you keep doing it.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, like some people were like, oh god, now the toys are going to be shit because John was the driving force, and I saw a very, very smart thing, which was, he was a spokesman and a chief designer. He was not the he's not the foot soldier.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he had a large part in the design process, as all the people in his role have done, but someone else will come in and take his place, and they'll probably be very good at their job.
Sure.
Because we've never really had a time where people were bad at designing toys. Executing them is a different thing. But yeah, no, I think this is pretty neat. Take us on to the last news story, Andy.
I mean, this isn't a super surprising one or anything like that. Kind of a quickie little sausage. The TFCon Toronto and TFCon Chicago are both cancelled. Both of them are GG'd. They've game overed. So if you're hoping to go to them, too bad. Go to next year's if they're available next year. I don't know. But apparently it's the first time that this has happened in a long time. So sad times for Transformer fans. But unfortunately, those be the times that we live in, Mr. Mikey. So, unless you got anything else, we can move on to what you did this week, Mikey.
Not a crazy amount. Plowed away with Arc, so just toddling away with that. It's a relaxing time sink, and
Okay.
like there's nothing else major. I've got a few games on my console I wanna like Trails of Cold Steel, but they are involved, and after like Final Fantasy and all the involved games I've done lately, it's kind of nice to just do something where just like you just go in and do something simple.
Mm.
So there's that. I got a pre-order. I got an order in for an Optimus Prime model kit.
Oh, which one?
So it's what's it called? It's a little SD shattered glass Optimus. I was talking about it a while ago.
It's not the D arts, is it?
No. This is the proper like the art's only
proper one.
Yeah, no, of shattered glass like
Right.
it is licensed from what I understand. But yeah, D arts only did. I think they did Nemesis, but I didn't do shattered glass.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, like I was looking for an SD version of Prime specifically to go with my Android account. So it's going to be slow delivery because it's coming from overseas. But yeah, so I'm pretty pleased to have gotten that order in. It was the only one I could find online as well, and I got it for a good price. It wasn't expensive.
Ooh, nice.
So. And the guy messaged me immediately and said, like, I won't be charging you any extra shipping. It's going to have to go the long way around.
Makes sense.
Just let you know if you're not okay with that. Let me know and you'll be refunded immediately. And I think that was pretty cool of them.
Mm-hmm.
I watched an episode of a show called Decadence. Anime.
Degenerates.
Deca/dence. So, and I don't. At the moment, the name doesn't really make sense. But basic premise seems to be a post-apocalyptic world where kaiju-sized monsters are running amok, and people live in sort of mobile, super strong cities.
Mm-hmm.
Girl is on she sort of sneaks onto her father's sort of archaeology mission. They get attacked by monsters. She loses an arm. He loses his life. Years later, she grows up. She's a tanker, which is she's sort of working in the city, and she wants to grow up to be one of the soldiers. She sort of ends up apprenticing to a former soldier turned tanker, and she accidentally ends up helping on a fight against a raid by these monsters. Some of these monsters are quite cool designs, and some of them are massive mountain-sized things. And the city's super attack is it turns into a fist
Ah.
on a piston and punches it.
All right. Yeah, that works.
And like the combat is like draining a fluid out of the monsters, which I think they use for like resource things. It's an opening episode. It looks very good animation, I will say. I also watched a couple of episodes of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. Yeah. It's got very nice animation from what I've
Yeah,
seen.
the animation is pretty damn impressive for the action scenes. Like they really cannot fault it. Very fluid, very everything else. The animation style, it's up to you whether you like it or not. I like it in motion. I'm not crazy about it in static, and the writing of the show is still kind of blasé.
Right.
But bit of a different animation style. I would love to see that animation, like that animation director on the Transformers show, because they do some wild stuff. Like I said, different writing and different visual style if preference, but like crazy. I would love to see that kind of animation. It's kind of Trigger light would be how I'd describe it. Also, I'd like Trigger to do a Transformers show. Have I mentioned that?
Nah.
I also plowing away with Turn A. I might have that finished in the next week or so.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not
how
doing.
far are you through it?
I'm past the halfway point, but I think I might just blitz the end of it.
Oh, okay.
It's an interesting show. It's really atypical for a mech show, let alone like what little I know of Gundam shows. It is very atypical. Which I find interesting. I find it's like, especially since it's a super robot show pretending to be a Gundam show.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to me that like the whole structure of the show is very odd. Like not bad. I like it. I honestly like it. But just I'll go into Turn A in depth when I am finished with it. I basically decided I was going to keep on going with two shows, and I was just like, these shows are so big I can't be doing at Zeta and Turn A at the same time. So I just said, do Turn A, finish that, go back to Zeta, and then make my way through the rest. Speaking of Gundam, Build Divers Re-Rise episode 20 aired, which was sort of the final flashback story, kind of explaining Hiroto, the protagonist, and his relationship to the Eldiver Eve and what happened to her. And it was quite heavy. Quite dark. Also, remember we were talking about, they're introducing the idea that the Gunpla might have souls?
Oh,
and
yes.
You were saying they'd never do anything with it?
Yes.
I'm going to, without too many spoilers...
Well, I jokingly said that, I suppose.
Core Gundam done a murder.
Okay.
On its own. Without a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Core Gundam done a murder.
I suppose it makes sense because it's technically an AI, or it's in an AI system, so yeah, sure.
Oh, no, it's the heart of the cards, Andy.
Well,
we all know, it's heart of the cards. But
unless it pulls fucking Exodia, it don't have no heart.
No, Exodia is illegal now. Same with Monster Reborn, you can't use them.
I know, and Pot of Greed, don't forget Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed was the best card, I related to that fat bastard. A deck full of Pot of Greed.
Yeah. But I thought it was a really strong episode. Very emotional. It had a nice twist. It had a bunch of stuff from the original Diver show, which I haven't seen. It's the only one of the Build series I haven't seen now. And even without seeing it, it's really weird how everyone's willing to murder this girl so that they can save their video game.
Do you remember me complaining about that?
Because everyone's like, we must protect the GBN. She has to die.
It's a video game, guys.
Hiroto.
It's a video game.
Yeah. It makes sense for the divers because it's literally their world, that they're as invested in it as they are.
Yeah.
But for us, it's just like, I love Gunpla, so I'm going to kill someone.
Yep.
And they, kidnap her?
Yeah.
And stick her in a castle?
Yep. And they have a really obscenely one-sided tournament to basically allow them to murder this budding AI life form.
Yeah. It was weird to see it, but since it's being framed from the Rise perspective, it's all framed very seriously.
Yeah, instead of this is stupid.
Yeah, because it's because there's a connection between Eve and Sarah beyond just her being a diver.
Mm-hmm.
It's implied Eve had a big role in whatever happened at the end of the show. I haven't seen the end of the show, but Eve was working in the background for some stuff, and Hiroto is you get to keep yours, mine died. Why can I he has an opportunity to take out the main protagonist while he's going to be the hero and doesn't take it. In a really pretty scene, which the core Gundam ends up covered in mud and dirt, and it's I really like that's carried out, and there's a nice emotional ending to it. I like Bull Divers Re-Rise quite a bit. I like the show. We're coming up to the sort of last quarter of the show now, so I'm looking forward to it. They've still got to introduce the next armor for the Alice, which is the fake new Gundam, I think it's called.
Oh, right. The last one I saw that was announced, or maybe not announced, but shown off, was the main core Gundam in its white armor, the white one.
Yeah,
the one that's in silhouette in the beginning.
Yeah, the sun one.
Is that what it's called? I've seen the images of that, and it looks pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen the name. I don't know the name of it, but I think that's the only thing left to reference.
Probably, yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward. I know they still have to bring in the Aegis Knight, and they still have to bring in the ex Volkylander.
That's right, yeah.
And there's a toy. There's a new version of the No Name Astray, which is marketed for the toy line, but that hasn't.
Is that not maybe a manga thing? Maybe
I was thinking it might be, just because I know the No Name belongs to a specific character in the series.
Okay.
I don't in the original series. I've seen a clip of it. They
Right.
were having a proper Gunpla battle, not a digital battle, and it was a bit weird. That's all I've seen of Build Divers, by the way, just because I saw the word Astray and I decided to check it out. But no, really, really am enjoying that show. It's so nice to have a mech show I'm into again. That's being made.
Well, technically, you've got
being
two
made now. Yeah,
sort of.
but one being made now.
Yes. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gundam can usually be a fairly safe choice.
Yeah. Can Dinosaur please come out sooner? But yeah, apart from that, the only other thing was Kamen Rider 01 episode 38, otherwise known as I Think You Fucked It Up.
Yeah. Well, I say yeah. From what you've told me, I've still yet to go any further.
Spoilers. I'm going to put some spoilers in here just because to give a criticism of this when I have to. So this is the redemption arc for Kamen Rider trousers. And by which means this is the episode where he goes from a bad guy to a good guy. In the space of the episode.
Oh, in the episode. Okay, nice.
First 12 minutes includes him trying to murder someone to hide corporate mishandling of funds. And someone put up translated the list of his crimes, including sexual harassment, stealing funds, and paying for expensive hairdressers.
Cool.
So yeah, and then he talks to a little AI about the fact when he was a child he had a robot dog, and his father was a bastard and made him sell the robot dog.
Mm.
And then the satellite Zaya makes a copy of the robot dog after he's actually insulting the dog to the friend AI.
Okay.
And then they make the robot dog in a new body, and he goes, and the robot dog's name was Thouser.
What?
Yes, the dog's name is Thouser.
No.
No, because his father used to tell him he got 99% on an exam once, and his father kicked the crap out of him.
Did he explain then why? Is that why he says you need 1,000%? Because that's not a good explanation for that.
Yeah, his father used to tell him if you're not 1,000% perfect, you're not perfect.
Did he say as a child, Father, that's stupid and yet makes no sense?
Father, that's not maths.
No, yeah.
And then in the you have 12 minutes of attempted murder. About 5 minutes of here's my backstory. Oh, and literally it's like, Thouser, you're alive again. Thouser likes him. Oh, you still like me. Cut to Aruto getting beaten up, is saved by Thouser, who says, I love hidden intelligence. I am going to save it as its president. We will defeat Arc together.
What a deep, complex story, Arc.
Would you like it to get better? The robot dog is included because of a promotional deal with Sony to have a 2-episode promotion of their AI robot dog called an Aibo.
You know, to me, it just looked like the same kind of AI dogs we got 10 years ago. I'm sure it's more advanced, but...
That dog is the dog in the flashback.
So it's meant to look old and crappy.
So the dog from the flashback is the old dogs we used to get, and the new one is the one that is the new body for Thouser.
Right. You mean Thouser the dog rather than Thouser the rider?
Thouser the dog. Yes.
Right, okay. I have to ask because they're both called Thouser for some stupid reason.
Yeah. Because that's where he got the name, Andy. He secretly
That's
loved
dumb.
his puppy. He
It's
secretly
dumb.
loved his... Also, he was in his 40s, so they had full functional AI in the late 80s.
Was his dad super intelligent?
No, but the dog's from hidden... it was hidden intelligence.
Oh, I don't know then.
See, he secretly always loved hidden intelligence beneath the bile.
Who names a robot dog Thouser? Does Thouser mean something in Japan? In Japanese, I should say?
It's 1,000. His dad would say everything has to be 1,000%, and now he had 1,000. Thouser. That's why he called it... Yes. That's it.
So
That's
he
the
named
logic.
his dog after the abusive father's saying.
Yep, remember, Rider, bad dad. Father appears in Kamen Rider, never trust him.
Not like Chio-san or like Mr. Flopsy. San. Jesus.
Mr. Flopsy-san, of course.
Yeah, no, Mr. Flopsy-chan, my bad. Mr. Flopsy-chan.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Flopsy-kun, maybe.
So, I would put money down that there was intended to be a 4 or 5 episode arc for Thouser's redemption. And I think they lost a lot of their time, and I think toy pressures and everything else, they needed to get to the final form and that final ending as soon as they could. So I think Thouser's arc got sacrificed, in all honesty, to the COVID.
Which is unfortunate, but understandable.
However, I think that was then compounded by fuckery when Sony said, put in this robot dog. Because if you tell me that the writer for this show 20 weeks ago was saying, okay, we're going to plan this out, Thouser's going to have a redemption arc. By the way, I want to include a small robot dog that you're going to promote there in about 6 months' time. I would not believe you. I think Guy's arc got fucked for profit. I think it got sacrificed to a disease, and I will give them full leeway for that. I then think the sacrifice got fucked over because Sony said they will give you a pile of money.
It could happen. I mean, we neither you nor I have any evidence to back that up, but it's a potential.
It
I think
seems
you can
very
say
likely.
that. You can say that you could see it happening because that's a business
Yeah.
decision,
Yeah.
and that makes sense.
And considering that whether you love him or loathe him, Thouser is a controversial figure with the fandom,
Oh, really? Okay.
largely because of the tournament arc.
You mean the really long, drawn out, boring tournament arc?
It's not helping his case.
No.
I am amused by the amount of people who go like, okay, Thouser, but small doggy.
No, don't.
Small
No.
doggy. Oh, it's so sweet. He has small doggy.
It's not even a real dog, though.
Small doggy.
Hmm.
And I'm dreading the next episode because it's a 2-episode thing, which means that dog won't go away. And I'm gonna get pissed.
Wait till the Arc Rider guy kills it.
Oh no, like, it takes out Arc.
What it like explodes like a nuclear bomb.
No, it just latches itself on, looks back at him and says, I love you. Do you remember, like, in Black?
Tien-san!
No, do you remember in Black when Battle Hopper died?
Yes, yeah.
Now this is the last episode. It's gonna be like, thank you, Ryder.
And it's like, hey guys, it's a reference, isn't it?
And then he's gonna be like, oh, picks up someone's sword and just goes stabbing.
You know how if this was Kamen Rider Double and they did something like that with a dog, you'd go, okay, this was the actor for Shotaro demanded this.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, he was just like, I need something intelligent to die for me.
Yes.
And
It
if you
needs to
don't
love
do it,
me.
I'm leaving.
What about Philip? No, it needs to be like a dog, or maybe the big car thing that we never use anymore.
Something that doesn't talk to me a lot, but we all know I love.
Maybe it has the spirit of the boss in it, or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
or the essence.
Oh,
of it.
like if the hat had got destroyed or something.
Yeah,
and the
that
hat
would
was
work
talking to
too.
him. That would work.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, I'm very, very suspicious. There's nothing about this confirmed or even leaked or anything, but I'm very, very suspicious that Guy is going to become the Arc's final host.
Ooh.
Because one of the promo things said that Arc unlocks a new form after acquiring a human host.
Okay.
And I would put kind of money down it would be Guy, which means that you'll probably get 2 or 3 episodes really of Guy being like, I'm a good guy, I'm gone. And then he'll show up again after Arc's defeated. That's what I'm suspecting is going to happen. And I think if you'd had a 5-episode arc, or a 3-episode arc, or a 4-episode arc leading up to this beforehand, it would have worked a lot better. Because, yeah, it's like you had him try to murder someone 10 minutes before you tried to make me feel sorry for him because he has a small dog.
Yeah.
I described it as trying to do Parado's arc, except not good.
Yeah. It sounds like it anyway.
Yeah. I wasn't satisfied. I was not satisfied with this one. And like I said, if it was just a COVID thing, if it was just, okay, you rushed an arc through this show, I would be a lot more forgiving. But when I'm sitting there just like, oh god, this just feels scummy.
I'll have those episodes to look forward to then in the future.
I'll be curious to see if you take it better than I did, honestly.
To be fair, talking to you will obviously have colored my perception a little bit. And I kind of don't like the idea behind it at the very least. And I already was kind of like, 01's fine. I really hate this tournament arc, and Guy seems like kind of a lame character, unfortunately. So this probably isn't going to help my opinion of that get any better. I would guess.
But yeah, that was my week, really. What about you, Andy?
I got a haircut, thank fucking Christ.
Hang on. No one gets a haircut, Andy. We sit at home with clippers, cut our own hair, and don't go outside.
I needed a haircut pretty badly before the lockdown, and that was in March. I had to wait an hour before I got sat down and tended to. And there was only 4 people in front of me. So it took a while, but my God, I needed it. My head feels so free. I don't know how ladies can deal with long hair all the time. What a fucking nightmare. So that was a big thing I had to kind of endure. Just the usual stuff as well for the week. Been proceeding on with build. Been also looking at build figure art because I was like, damn, I would still really like Stark figure art.
They have I think Black Hole's coming out.
Yeah, but I really like the Bloodstark suit.
Stark.
Sure. I always say Stark.
Everyone does because we, think Bloodstalk is a fucking stupid thing to say.
I mean, that's how they pronounce it, and it sounds better than Stalk, like you say. Stark just sounds better. I am a massive fan of that suit design. And I like Evolve Phase 1. The Black Hole one is okay. I just don't think it's nearly as good as
It needed a full repaint, in my opinion.
what the Black Hole form.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get what they were going for, and it's nice. It's just I think the Evolve suit is just better. It hits my tastes. If somebody said to me, "Hey, it's really obnoxious and gaudy," I'd be like, "Yeah, but there's something about the color placement on it that makes it work, at least for me."
And it certainly works in character.
Oh, it certainly works in character. The next episode is when he gets Evolve Phase 1. The preview had the Master go, "I'm back," and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm looking forward to tomorrow."
That scene when he transforms, he has his theme song Evolution playing, which is a Kamen Rider Girls song, and Evol has so much swagger he makes it work. Like there is a high pitched like song about from a J-pop group playing, and he just like, "Listen, I got this.
I'm back, baby." Baby.
Yeah, and he does like the shoulder thing, and he's just like, "Oh, I feel so good. Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. Oh."
I'd like a Rogue figure art as well. Crocodile in Rogue.
Crocodile in Rogue.
That was like the guy, that guy who does the sound effects for the Skash driver. I've heard him a lot before, but I really fucking like his voice. He rolls his fucking R's like a fucking Yakuza.
Yep. Like,
Rubutujiri.
Oh, yeah. The only one that, oddly enough, sounds relatively normal is Dragon in Cross Charge.
Yeah, that's the one where there's not enough R's for him to roll.
Yeah, but like, Rogue and Grease, he's just like, "Oh, it's fun."
Yeah. It's great. There's quite a few figure arts I'd like to pick up, but there's obviously the whole shipping, and also, I was surprised, like, most of them are web exclusives.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot
Night
more
Rogue
of that
isn't, normal build isn't, and I think Dragon Jelly version isn't either. But that's pretty much it. A load of them are a lot of the ones I want or would like are the exclusive ones, and they're all about 8,000 yen, which is like, oh Jesus, god damn it.
Which I think I mean it's a lot, but I would. If it wasn't for crazy shipping, I could talk myself into it.
For which one?
For if I was looking for a figure out at the moment.
Oh right, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If it wasn't for if the shipping wasn't that plus a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone's got a figure art stock they don't want and they don't want to do crazy money, let me know because I definitely would like him because he's a badass mother.
He's not joking. He means it. Send him the toy.
Yeah, why not? I also, something that was a big help to me was Mr. Jason Kirk helped me pick out, mod, and buy a new computer.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, because I was like, I'd like a new computer, especially since we are locked in and potentially when winter comes, darkness is going to fall on us yet again. Mm-hmm. So I thought it might behoove me to get... I've been needing a new computer for a while because this is old. This is an old computer for the most part. It's got some new bits in it, but it needed an upgrade. So it'll definitely help out at the very least with like rendering the podcast out and the podcast videos out, which will be a big boon at the very least. I'm hoping. I don't know how much it'll help for uploading to YouTube, but at least it'll help for the rendering. So I'm looking forward to that. It's one of those things because it's getting built. It's gonna take. It says it's not gonna get shipped out until the 31st of this month. So I probably won't get it until like early next month. So it's going to take a bit of time, but I'm looking forward to getting it. So again, thank you very much, Mr. Jason, for helping me out and picking out the right bits for all the stuff. So that was something quite cool I did. Anything else? Been watching more abroad in Japan because I find his channel very interesting, and it shows a side of Japan which isn't the usual. Isn't Japan kooky? which I always get annoyed about because for the BBC or like Channel 4, and it's like, oh, it's a show that's set in Japan. This will be cool. It's just the weird stuff in Japan. I'm like, no, just show me Japan. That would be lovely. And because his channel is, he lives in Japan, he takes you around to like normal places.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, this is where I go shopping.
Yeah, well, yeah. One of the cool things he did was he revisited some of the areas that were hit by the tsunami and seeing how they're rebuilding and how it's years later. And in one of the locations, they're doing some quite interesting land reconstruction. So they've actually re-sculpted the land so it's like higher, and they're also building a seawall and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting.
Cool.
It's great. There's the one building that was left standing has been left untouched completely. It's not been fixed up or anything, and it's been left there as a monument, kind of like the building in Hiroshima. You know, the one that still stands. It's kind of like the same idea, I suppose. So that's he does Abroad in Japan does really good videos. He's very popular for a good reason. So go. I mean, if you have an interest in watching Japanese or Japan, as it were, one of the other big things he did was he did a massive month or so long bike ride from the top of Japan basically to the bottom of Japan across the small islands. So he was doing 50 to 40 kilometers per day. And then visiting the city and having a look around and doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, very interesting stuff which I enjoyed or have been enjoying. And apart from that, it's just been the usual stuff, unfortunately, which isn't desperately interesting. So we'll bore you with that. Has there been anything else? My Fate Stay Night Heavensfield Collector's Edition Part 2 came in. Why Part 2? Because Part 1 sold out, and I don't want to pay full price for Part 1 when it's the standard edition. So I got that. I really like the Heavensfield movies. Still waiting for Part 3 to come out. That'll probably be delayed because of COVID. But I hope when it does come out, it'll be a good end to the trilogy. So I've got that done as well. And I think that's it. Everything that I can think of at the very least. So, Mr. Mikey, where can people find you online if they want to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, and you can find me on YouTube with GWolfie3 if I ever use that again. And yeah, you can check out the Fossil Fic podcast as well, which is up on iTunes and Podbean and other places. New episode is partially recorded. I just have to find the energy to finish it. Because I'm doing some paleo work on the side at the moment, so I'm just distracted by stuff. But yeah, like I said last time, it's Age of Reptiles. So the advantage of that show is that I'm not on a schedule. So
yay!
I think if I going forward, I'll probably try to tighten it up onto a Friday release date.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's kind of it'll come out when I'm ready.
Yeah, you're doing it for fun more so than for anything else at the moment, that's good.
It's good.
Yes.
You can also send us an email, guys, on moonbase2@gmail.com for any feedback or anything like that over on Facebook, Twitter, Lips, and everywhere else. I recorded a special episode with the rare and hardly seen Kal-El Prime during the week. So that's going to come out on Patreon, and then a week later it'll come out for the rest of the people. Without spoilers, it was basically Dave made a tweet, and I asked him, did he want to talk about the tweet? And he said, shit, I didn't think about it that much. I'll come back to you in a week.
And then you made a podcast out of it.
Yeah, then we made about a 2-hour podcast out of it.
Yeah.
But no, it was an interesting one. It's been a while since I've had a perspective talk with someone, so so yeah, he said he'd be up for doing something again, but we'll have to see if we think of anything. And yeah, apart from that, we've got the Woo Woo coming out this week, is it?
It'll be when it's up,
Yeah.
or when it's I get the stuff and upload it. Sure.
Yeah, and we've got to do a comic show this week.
Yes, because we can actually do one because there's issues to talk about.
Yes, I held out as long as I thought we should.
Cool.
For safety's sake. But yeah, apart from that, yeah. Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW, and I think one of the things Mikey didn't mention was the YouTube channel for Moonbase 2, which is Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. I think you mentioned Libsyn, Facebook, iTunes, all those places. And then there's obviously patreon.com/Moonbase2. $2 each month gets you access to the special stuff that Mikey mentioned earlier as well. And then there's ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to head over there as well. As ever, Mr. Mikey, thank you for joining me for the second day in the row, because we did record the woo-woo yesterday, so thanks for talking with me again. And until next week, everybody, we will catch you next time.